I listened to your other sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and you frequently mention or say, "Who would you be without the thought?"
Yes.
And I was wondering what to do if the thought is there, but in a repetitive way. You cannot control the presence of the thought.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that case, but online in the situation?
Yeah.
Being in your situation and you have this thought, like a recurrent thought, you cannot control the presence of the thought. You can, of course, not necessarily believe the thought, even think it is not logic or make no sense, but the thought is there and is bothering the presence of the thought. So
Yes.
what?
Yes. In my experience, I can't control my thoughts. They're there. They show up, and they're part of what is, right? So if I want that thought to not be there, it's like another argument with what is. And so instead of like basically, if I can't control that, I don't worry about that. If I can't do that in the moment, like online in the moment when I'm stressed, then what can I do? I react. That's what happens. I react and I go into my reaction and it doesn't look pretty, but that's the reality. So then what I can do is later, when I have a little more time, I'm back to myself again. I can go back and look at that situation and say, okay, now what happened there? Let me see what was the thought I was thinking there, and now let me question it now, because now I can. Now I'm not as so much in the reaction mode, and I can start to question it. So the work many times, I would say probably most of the time, is something I do after something happens to me. So in the moment, it just I just do what I do. I react or I don't react or but afterwards then I can go and do the work and start to find some clarity, some new way of seeing it. And then if the similar situation happens in the future, I have done some work. Now I have a chance that it won't get me as much this time. Maybe I am without the thought in that moment. It can happen like that. Or if again, it's like repetitive, again, it hits me and I still think the same thought, then I can do nothing. I just react, you know? But then after that, I can again look at it again. And maybe I question the same thought, or maybe I notice some other related thoughts that are there and I can question those. And so this is the process. It's like a cycle of getting exposed to the thing that stresses me, then going back, doing the work, getting a little more clarity, then going back again, getting exposed to the situation, see if there's any difference. Maybe there's some, maybe there's not. If there's still some stress, come back, do the work again. And over time, as I keep going back and forth between going in the situation and then doing the work on it, it starts to get a little looser. I often find I start to see a little more options. And then there are many situations that used to stress me, they don't stress me at all anymore. Like they never stress me anymore. So that comes with that kind of repetition of the process.
Okay, thank you. My question is related to a situation. I have been experiencing insomnia since 1.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
For example, last night I had this thought, and even if I question it very rapidly, and I thought, no, it's not true. So okay, I know it's not true. I don't have to believe it. But the thought was coming all the time, so the insomnia was there. So I was
Yes.
like 4 in the morning, and didn't sleep after that.
Okay.
And so the change was that I didn't suffer. The
Yes.
thought was there, it was repetitive, I didn't believe it, I didn't add the suffering, but it was there.
Yeah.
So I
So
was awake anyway.
the thought, like, I don't think, in my experience, thoughts, sometimes thoughts stop coming, but sometimes they keep coming, but I'm not believing them as much. And that's enough. I don't have to not have a thought to not suffer. It's possible that I have the thought, but I don't believe the thought, then I don't suffer. So that's another way there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should be sleeping, and that's coming. I should be sleeping. I should be sleeping. It's still coming there. But if I'm really not, I'm like, yeah, I don't really believe that. Yeah, I can see why I would believe that, but I really don't. And every time I do, it hurts. So I kind of start to think, eh, like I'm not as attached to it. And then I suffer less. So that's all. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, do you want to do any of that in a more slow way with the insomnia? And we could play with that together if you want to.
Like I have insomnia is a
Like
thought.
when you're lying in bed at 4 in the morning, what was the stressful thought, or what were the stressful thoughts?
Uh, it was one in particular, but well, it is related to some. I'm sorry, my English is not very good. Uh, we have to do some work because our neighbor, or we caused some damage to our neighbor downstairs in her kitchen because we have a problem with water infiltration.
Hmm.
So I had a thought related to that, like the work was already done, but I was not aware if it was done or not. So it was illogical. It's a thought that is not really important. The thing is, how can I do to stop it coming? I was not believing it. It's not possible
Hmm.
that the work was done without us knowing it. So it was not
Mhm.
logical.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I couldn't stop the thought of coming. And at least I said, okay, I don't believe it. So, okay, I don't suffer. But I had this in mind.
Okay. So what makes that thought sticky for you? That the work was already done. Like um, why is that thought come up for you? Do you have any idea? What is it that does it stress you anyway? Is there something connected to that is making that
Hmm.
making the mind focus on that?
What is connected to that? Well, we had a lot of problems lately since last year with our apartment, different kind of problems. So maybe what it was behind that is again another problem that we have to solve, and like the
Yeah.
preoccupation of something that is not already finished, and we have to solve. So maybe
Yes.
it was the worry about it's very general. I know that
No, it's okay. There's something there, right? Like that. Like so, the thought that it was already done is kind of tying into the idea that it should like we shouldn't have to have another problem. Like it's a
yeah, maybe it's that, like we already had enough.
yes. Right. Yes. Okay.
It's
So
true,
that can be
something
something,
like that.
right. So let's do a little work on that if you want to. We already had enough problems.
Yes, good.
Yes.
I
Is
like.
that true?
Um, no, no, I cannot say that.
Okay. So when you're lying in bed and the thought is coming, oh, this was already done, and you are believing somewhere else, somewhere inside, that we already had enough problems, how do you react? What happens?
I get alert. This is the thing. I was feeling like as my brain was alert.
Yeah.
We have to do something. I have to know if it was already done, or now we have to solve this. We have like three problems simultaneously to work with. So, yeah, I get alert. This is the main thing, and I get impatient also because it is since 1 year ago, exactly in April, that this kind of problems in the apartment started. So it's a long period. So um, yeah, I get impatient and I worry. I feel that a lot of things are out of my control because there is a lot of people involved in each problem. So it's not like I decide I have a problem, I decide to go and solve it. So feeling that I depend on the timing of a lot of people, insurance, the people who is coming to do the work, the neighbor, the administration of the building. So it's like a lot of people involved. Um, I worry, yeah.
Yeah. See how the mind starts getting very busy, right?
Mm.
We already have enough problems. Basically, we shouldn't be having this problem. We've had enough. And then the mind's like, so I need to get out of this quickly. How can I do it? What can I do? And then all the complexity of that starts to make the mind very busy. I mean, do you even notice, like, I'm imagining myself in bed in that situation, and my mind is starting to try to solve the problem, and my legs actually start to want to move to get out of bed to go do something, It's like it can be even physical how I react.
Mm. Yeah, I could say that about my brain or my legs, but my brain is alert.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's ready to do something, but I cannot. I have to wait, and there is a time for the thing. so,
Right.
so I made a call today to see when this is going to be done, and of course, again, no certain answer. Maybe April, maybe May. So I have to wait.
Right. So how do you treat this problem when you think that you already had enough problems?
I treat it as something that bothers me. That's something that is unfair. Um, I also get impatient with the administration of the building. Um, yeah, it's something like it shouldn't be there, this problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So who would you be, again, lying in bed, 4 a.m., without the thought? Like the thought comes, oh, this was already done, but you don't have the thought, we already have enough problems.
Mm.
Who would you be when that comes up?
I will be open to what is. If it is the case and I was not informed, well, we will deal with that in the moment if it is the case. I will be open to the reality. I will be uh, maybe leaving it as some kind of challenge for me, like to accept what is. something exciting, like this is a new opportunity to accept something that I was not expecting, but that is real. I will, of course, not be. Maybe I will not have insomnia because my brain would not be alert. So just and if even with the insomnia, I would be more relaxed in the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you see when you look at the problem itself without the thought we already had enough problems?
How? Excuse me. Can you repeat?
What do you see when you look at the problem,
Okay.
the issue, without the thought that we already had enough problems?
What do I see? I see just life, a new event, another event that is happening. And again, it's
Yeah.
an opportunity to know something new. Maybe I will meet a worker who is going to come and solve this problem. And I will like his work, and I will have this contact, or I will be closer to my neighbor because she also kind. She is very kind and accepting to do this work in the timing I propose. So yeah, I will be in peace with the situation. Maybe I will not even call it a problem. I will just call it
Interesting.
situation.
Yeah. Just life,
Hmm.
right? Life is always giving some challenge or something new, something. Yeah. But when I have the thought, we already had enough problems, then
Yes,
it gets stressful. That's the difference.
yes.
That's the difference.
Hmm.
So let's turn the thought around. We already had enough problems.
We did not have enough problem. No.
Yeah, it's a turnaround.
Okay.
These turnarounds sound funny sometimes, but just play with it. It just points in another
Yeah.
direction, and then we'll see if there's any truth there. How could you
Well,
already?
enough is very personal. I cannot know like a objective concept of what is enough. Enough for whom? About what? So no, I cannot. Of course, I cannot judge that. So we don't have enough. If I think in my personal growing, if I stop having problems in my life, I will not continue growing. So, of course, problems or situations which represent a challenge are welcome because this is what allows me, anyway, my experience is what allows me to grow.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
So I have not had
I
enough
don't
problems. Yeah, it's just a change in perspective,
yeah,
right? Like, oh, okay, from that point of view, I don't mind. I don't mind.
yeah. And one thing is true that I'm really not good with which concerns work at home, things you do with hands, or what time is the right time to ask someone to come to verify this thing.
Mm,
Nothing really. But
yeah,
since 1 year ago, with all the problems that we're having, I'm learning.
yeah,
So I
yeah. So
put,
what used to be your weak place, like your lack of strength, it becomes stronger.
yeah,
That weak point becomes like it can become very strong. So
yeah. It implied lawyers. It implied insurance.
mm,
It implied dealing with the administration. 10 years ago I lived here, no problem at all. So I didn't understand anything of the functioning. But now with
right,
this, of course, I have been learning.
that
Yes.
is cool. That is cool. So I haven't had enough problems to
Yeah, good.
change it.
Welcome.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm seeking out
No.
problems, but they keep coming anyway. So now there's a more open feeling because I know I will keep growing. I will keep learning from that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another play with it. Like we don't have, or we haven't had enough problems. Could be like that I can handle. Like can you handle the problems? Like it's like enough is more than I can handle. But is it possible that it's enough for me to be able to deal with it?
I don't know if I understood that one. So it's
Okay, let me see if I
turnaround?
can.
Is it another turnaround? No.
It's like same turnaround.
Okay.
No, same turnaround. We already had enough problems, turned around. We don't have enough
Yeah.
problems. So we don't have enough problems to make it too much for me.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I understand. Well, in that regard, it has been, yes, it's true. I have been learning, but it made, what can I say? For example, my insomnia worst. So, yeah,
Okay, that's a
not that much so I can handle, but it has consequences in my health also. So
okay.
I'm really like in the limit, not.
Yeah, that's a good description, right? That it's I'm on the limit. I'm right in that border there, but it's not still I'm not hearing that it's too much for you to handle. It has a consequence. It would be nice if it was less, but uh I mean, we are having a conversation. You're not just asleep
Yeah,
because you cannot sleep in the night or
no.
something. Like there's something that is strong enough to handle even that challenge of insomnia for more than a year.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had enough problems to really make me sick or crazy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I like this because it just shows me that there's more strength in here than I think sometimes. Like I think, oh, it's too much, but I forget that I can handle a lot.
Okay.
I forget that.
Mm.
So I don't know if there are any other turnarounds, but let's just look. We already had enough problems. Is there anything else that shows up for you?
No, that I can't think of now.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if,
I think this
if
is,
you, Edwin, have an idea, another turnaround. I don't see.
yeah. Do you see anything else, Edwin? I see. Oh yeah, like with my thinking. Like I already had enough problems with my thinking,
Mm.
right?
Oh,
And that,
yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I I already had enough problems with my thinking. This I like. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, because these problems, the one of the things why I'm saying we already had enough is because uh, we already had a lot of problems with COVID. So
hmm,
uh, I work in a hospital, so I was in a very challenging situation. So I would expect some calm, but I'm
right.
home and we have problems with water in the ceiling, in the floor. In the it's like okay, enough. But it's true that is my perception. my thinking about each situation.
Right.
So thank you for that one. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's relative, right? It's something I decide. It's a concept. Like enough is a concept.
Mhm.
And I might think, okay, I went through COVID, that was challenging, and now I have the house stuff on top of it. It's enough, stop, right? But that's the mind saying that's
Mhm.
enough. Like if the mind is not doing that, if the mind's open, then it's like, okay, I went through COVID and now this is the house thing and I'm open. If something else has to happen, what I'm open. And that's the difference between like arguing with reality, which is stressful, and being open to reality, which is not stressful.
So I could say, uh, we could we say the turnaround, like say it exactly. How would it be, Edwin? I already had enough problems in my thinking. Is that?
Yeah,
Yes, this is so true. Actually, this
yeah.
is true.
This is
This is
truer, right?
absolutely true.
If I didn't have the problems in my thinking about these problems, then these problems wouldn't be problems.
Yeah, or it would be just another problem, but not like to make me feel that it is enough. It's
That's right.
another. So
Right. And it, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because if there's something I can control, great. But if there's something I can't control, then it's only my thinking that's going to make it really experience that as terrible.
oh, this is
If,
nice.
if
I feel nice. I have enough of my thinking. Yeah,
I love it.
it's nice.
That's that's that little bit of wiggle room, right? You know, that's the inside. I can always work with what's inside and how I'm seeing it, even if I can't control the outside parts.
Mm.
And sometimes I can do both, but always, at least I have the option to just question what I'm thinking and see if there's another way of seeing it. And here we see it's not enough problems. Only was enough problems in my
My
thinking.
thinking. Uh-huh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, always fun doing this, and I will be doing it again next week. So let's just see what the schedule looks like. I think it will be Wednesday, April 13th, and it's going to be 2 p.m. Pacific time. So you can find that time in your own time zone by going to theworkasmeditation.com and then go to open sessions, and you'll see the calendar there and you can sign up there. And I also want to encourage everyone, if you're listening, even to the recording, to consider giving the gift of participating in these open sessions. This is a gift to those who listen, but it is something that is just it's a service to the world. And if you're willing and able to join us as a guest participant, then I know you have to sign an agreement, and it sounds scary, but I would love for you to join us, be a part of the guest participants group. We can have up to 7 people here, and I just want to encourage as many people to come as possible. And if we have more people, then it's also possible you just can sit and listen. You can always just be there. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. But if you are here, then sometimes a question will come up, or sometimes some kind of spontaneous thing will come out, and this will also make the sessions more interesting and lively and enjoyable for everyone. So, with that said, I just want to thank you again for being here, and I look forward to next time, whenever that may be.